Welcome to my channel. This is Deborah, your relocation fanatic. Thank you guys always for checking in. Continue to subscribe, continue to like, so that I can continue to do showing you more interesting content. Thank you very much. I see you, I hear you, I see your messages, and thank you very much for your support so far. So today in my video, I'm going to focus on my journey to the UK and our transition back to Zimbabwe. But this journey is not just for my own. It represents journey for many thousands of Zimbabweans, and not only Zimbabweans, but many other nations who moved to the diaspora, and they made sacrifices for a better future for their families and children, and ultimately for themselves. So I don't take this movement very lightly. It's a thing that many of us move to the diaspora to give ourselves and our families a better life. And I understand there are many people in the diaspora who are carrying the economy of Zimbabwe, who are carrying their families, who are carrying their brothers and sisters, who are carrying orphans that have been left in Zimbabwe, who are carrying many children here in Zimbabwe, who are carrying actually, I could say the economy of Zimbabwe. So I don't take this lightly. I know there's a reason why people move to the diaspora, but I just want to talk about the pros and cons, what I faced, what I experienced as a person when I moved to the diaspora, the lows and the highs. We left Zimbabwe for the UK with a clear goal in mind, to provide the future, a better future for our children. As parents, we always wanted to give our children the best, better opportunities, quality education, and exposure to a world where they could compete on a global level. And I'm sure this is a dream for many parents who have moved to the diaspora. That was our driving force initially when we left Zimbabwe. We knew that in the UK, our children have access to structured education, broader career opportunities, and not only broader career opportunities, and also exposure to a worldwide system that will help them to develop into a well-rounded individuals, and also to explore their talents. Like right now, my daughter, those who follow the Clements, they are YouTubers. My son, Shumba Masai, is a musician. My daughter, Mayfield, she's a journalist. So my children are artists. I don't think they would have managed to do that without having exposure to such system that enabled them to think outside the box. But moving abroad is never as glamorous as it seems from the outside. It comes with some challenges, some expected and some unexpected, like everything else. So today, I was going to talk to you about the reality of diaspora life. I'm going to start with the highs, opportunities, and growth. One of the biggest advantages of living in the UK was access to a structured and stable system. The economy is strong, job opportunities exist. With hard work, you can build a stable and financial foundation. Life abroad teaches you discipline, perseverance, and resilience. We had to work hard, sometimes taking multiple jobs, double shifts, and I knew it was for a purpose to build a future for our families. And I can say that this is not me alone. I'm sure many people are experiencing the same, that sometimes you have to do the jobs that you never used to do, so that you could build a future for your families. Living in the UK also exposed us to a global culture. We met different people from different cultures, different nationalities, different personalities, and we learned new ways of thinking. Our mind expanded. I learned new valuable skills, both professionally and personally, which I might have not learned or developed if I had spent all my life in Zimbabwe. For my children, growing up in the UK meant they had access to diverse education resources, career guidance, and international perspective on life. They were able to see and experience what the world had to offer. So that was I can say that was a success story, because they managed to do that. But there are also side stories whereby people have taken their children in the diaspora and they've been consumed in the diaspora life. Some of them have consumed in drugs, some have consumed in other things that happen in the diaspora. So there are also challenges with children, which I don't want to undermine. The laws that are in the diaspora, loneliness, homesick, culture challenges. However, despite these opportunities, diaspora life is not as easy as some people think. The biggest challenge is always the feeling of being away from home. Zimbabwe is home. The warmth, the people, the culture, the food, the sense of belonging. In the UK, life can feel isolated. You live in a small house, except for those that are very rich that could afford millions of houses. But generally, for an average person, people live in small houses compared to what we used to have, compared to what we have here in Zimbabwe, and the social life is not as vibrant, especially maybe if you are not in a church community. Life could be very lonely. And also in the UK, everything's structured, timed, and fast-paced. You cannot turn up into somebody's house anytime, but here you can just knock on somebody's house and just say, I've come to see you. But in the diaspora, everything that's structured, timed, and fast-paced, which some other people could find very difficult. Diaspora life teaches you discipline, but it can also be emotionally draining, like I've experienced, because you have to work so many hours. The culture shock is real. There are different values, different social structures, and at times you feel like you are constantly adapting to fit into a system which wasn't designed for you. Like we're a human being, we are social human beings. We like to be with people, we like talking, we like the things that we like. But I found the culture in the UK quite different, but it was a culture shock for me. But the major challenge is struggle for identity. After spending many years in a foreign land, you begin to wonder, where do I truly belong? Am I fully part of this new society, or am I fully Zimbabwean at heart? Many people in the diaspora struggle with this question. I'd say maybe you go to work, you're always asked, where are you from? Where are you from? But my children were born in the UK. I've lived in the UK for 23 years, but I'm always asked that question, where are you from? Where is your real home? They say, my real home is here. I was born here. So I find many people struggle with that identity. And that question is always, and I know that many diasporans, many Zimbabweans in the diaspora, they live in the diaspora, but they live in Zimbabwe. They eat Zimbabwean food. They are settled with Zimbabwean people. Their community is Zimbabwean. We go to Zimbabwean churches. We eat Zimbabwean food. So sometimes we are living there, but we are living isolated lives as Zimbabwean people. Very few people really mingle with people in that country. That's what I've seen. We eat sada, we eat fushkwa, we carry food from here. That's what we eat. So maybe we failed really to integrate into that culture, except maybe for young people who were born there. So I find that it's also a culture identity. We're failing to find our identity. So if you want to identify yourself as Zimbabwean, come home. That's what I'm saying. Because in the diaspora, you are living as a Zimbabwean. Only that we're just there for the economy, and also the reality of working abroad. A lot of people assume that going to the UK means instant success, but the truth is that the reality of working abroad is tough. Many Zimbabweans find themselves taking jobs that they never imagined they would do. They do some far below their qualifications just to make end meet. The cost of living is high, and saving money is not easy as people may think. For myself, I was an aircraft technician working for Zimbabwe, but when I arrived in the UK, I used to work in McDonald's cleaning toilets, and packing stuff in storehouses. That's what I used to do. But I was an aircraft technician and left Zimbabwe. I found that intimidating, and this is not the story for myself alone. I'm sure there are many people who are sharing these stories that you go there, you're not able to find your job, but you have to do the jobs that you thought you never did. But then you have to be patient, and with time, if you continue to educate yourself, you'll be able to rise to a level that you want to. But sometimes people find that very emotionally tough. Especially maybe for men that were here doing your job and whatever, and then suddenly there you are doing certain jobs that you never thought you'd be able to do, especially caring jobs. Some men find it very, very hard to do caring jobs, something that they never used to do. And also you work very long hours, you pay high taxes. Sometimes you barely have time to enjoy your money with your family, or to enjoy that money that you earn, because life is always on the move. You miss important family moments, back home, weddings, funeral, birthday. Sometimes you only hear about major events from a distance. That takes an emotional toll on you. Some people are not even, they've lost their loved one, they left their parents, they left their brothers and sisters, they left their fathers, but you're not able to bury them because of distance and because of papers. So these are real life challenges that people are facing. So it's not a bed of roses. In the UK, these are the challenges that I experience. Sometimes I missed important events, weddings for important people, parties for important people, weddings and funerals for important people in my life, that I was not able to have a proper closure because you are not able to attend these funerals. So these are real challenges that people face in the UK. So these are some of the reasons why I decided to move back home. So we are kind of on a transition from the UK to Zimbabwe, but we've made up our minds that we are going back. So these are the reasons that I'm going to talk to you about. After many years of staying abroad, I asked myself, what is success really? So these are the questions that I was asking myself. Is it really money? Is it a big house? Is it about happiness and peace and fulfillment? So what I defined myself, happiness is peace and fulfillment, which I'm finding the time that I'm spending in Zimbabwe. I realized that no matter how much money I made abroad, something was missing. Home was missing, the sense of belonging, the community, the rich culture of Zimbabwe, the peace of mind that comes of being surrounded by people you truly understand, people that you truly love. So coming back home is about embracing the life I truly want to live. The life that I truly want to live, and where I'm connected with my people, where I can build a life that is fulfilling and meaningful. The UK gave me opportunities, but Zimbabwe gives me peace, love, and the true happiness. That's what I found, because we are social beings, I feel a sense of belonging. I feel home. I feel joy. I feel connected with nature as I go to pluck my vegetables from my garden. For my chickens, I just go to my backyard. In the UK, you are not able to do that. You have to buy it as a pet if you really want a live chicken to kill. And it will be an offense as well if you try to kill it. They'll call the police on you. So that's what I found. So here, I found some peace, a better social life. One of the biggest reasons why I decided to move to Zimbabwe, it is the quality of life here in Zimbabwe. You didn't have to book an appointment when you're visiting friends. You just turn up on their door, and they will truly welcome you. And probably you spend 2 days there with no questions asked. Social life is warm and natural. People genuinely care about you. There's a sense of community in Zimbabwe. That's what I've seen. That's what I've noticed as well. A genuine, really sense of community. In the UK, life is isolated. People are busy with their own schedules, with their own lives, with trying to make money, trying to make ends meet, and socializing feels like a luxury. In Zimbabwe, life is simpler, but it is richer in relationship and human connections. So life is not always about money. You can make life here very cheap. Like here, after I went to the UK, I became educated that, it is the natural foods that you eat that are healthy. And those things are quite cheap. They are not very expensive. They're quite cheap. You go to the market or you go to a friend's house, you are able to get those. And also what I found is the beauty of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is beautiful, Akomana. Zimbabwe is a beautiful country. The weather, the landscape, the food, it is well unmatched. Abroad, you might earn more money, but you don't always get to enjoy the life. Here, I can sit outside, breathe fresh air, sit in my garden, eat fresh food, enjoy the simple pleasures of life without stress. That's what I've discovered the few months that I've been here. A sense of purpose as well. Coming back home is always about giving back. Zimbabwe is developing, and I want to be part of that growth. I don't want to remain behind. I have skills, knowledge, and experience that I've gained in the UK, and I believe I can contribute to my country in a meaningful way. I've come back here with a different mindset, that when I look at the things that I looked upon, I can see opportunities all around me, selling avocados, doing people's garden. These are the things that I used to look upon. Maybe I was thinking going to the universities, make beggars and go and sell, make my houses an Airbnb. I can see opportunities, I start to sell mufushko, I start to sell, these Rukweza, Milimil, Soga, Milimil. I can see opportunities all around me that I never saw before I left. But these opportunities, you can only see them when you're on the ground. You are not able to see them when you're still abroad. You have to come on the ground to see these opportunities that are all around you. There's also something fulfilling about using what you have learned abroad to build something at home. The UK taught me a lot, but Zimbabwe, where I can truly apply these lessons to make a difference. So this is what I've identified, the education that I had in Zimbabwe, that I learned in the UK. Social life is something that I'm applying right now. Principles that I learned in the UK, that I can see some behaviors that I used to do here in Zimbabwe. I came back with a behavior change. So to those who are in the diaspora thinking of leaving Zimbabwe, I can say going abroad can be life-changing, but it is not as easy journey. It comes with sacrifice and emotional and financial culture. If you go with a purpose. You have a plan. Know why you are living, what you want to achieve. And know what you want to achieve when you come back. So go back there with a purpose to get money and come back and invest back in Zimbabwe. Do not forget home. Build connections. Build a connection. You are able to build those connections by coming back. By coming back often and see what's happening here. Invest wisely and always have a plan to return if this is your dream. For us, we had a plan to return. Though we went there for 23 years, but returning home was always our dream, was always our purpose. So we started building this house little by little, week by week. We did that for 20 years. So I'm saying, don't just think about your retirement right now while you are there, whatever you are. Think about your retirement. Think about what would you like. If you'd like to return to Zim, think about now. Start to plan now. For me, the UK was an important chapter in my life. It was an important stepping stone. But Zimbabwe is home. No matter how far we travel, home will always be home. Home will always call you back.